Hey, hello. Welcome to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Payne here. Day before tax day. I hope you guys got your taxes done. Listen, I'm still on cloud nine for getting my tax done last week. Actually, it's not really that hard to do my taxes, but I can't stand this time of year because of the taxes. So tomorrow, hopefully, you get yours in. I got a couple of distress calls today to help people out. So that was something I was doing today. And once we're on the other side of the tax season, yeah, everybody seems to kind of calm down. So anyway, uh, welcome to another 14th and 15th of April. Hello, everybody. Anybody in here? Make sure you hit the like button on the way in and hit the like button. We're going to have an interesting conversation today. Uh, at least it's going to be interesting to me because it took me, I was thinking about doing something like this. And I was trying to find a way to couch it without being, there's no way to couch it without being kind of controversial. But then I find out that there's a lot of people on the internet questioning the veracity or I was going to say the veracity of the Black Girl Magic, but veracity is not the right word. I think it's been co-opted just like every other movement in the Black community. I say I think, I know it has been. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as we get into it and when people start coming in. And, I'll probably drop the link at some point. So, I think this live is starting out just like many of my lives. I think depending on where you are in the country, 7 o'clock p.m. might be still early. Some of you guys are still getting home from work. And maybe the last thing you want to do is listen to a baby boomer. I got some shit on the baby boomer stuff too. In a second, I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to just say, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. If you come here often, you might as well hit the subscribe and the notification bell. There's always something going on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. If you want to hear some of my stuff, go to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports, R. Payne, MPS, 1241. You can go there. I got a lot of stuff I put on my channel. I actually do some political lives over there, and I have my sports show also 1 hour before the sports show over here on the same day. But anyway, so I have fun over here. So, I mean, my motivation to do this YouTube stuff is I'm going to get into that a little bit as well, even though that's not the topic of today's live. But I just want to just go ahead and talk a little bit before, so let people get a chance to get in and say hello in the chat that you're here and you're ready to listen. As soon as we do that, then I can kind of move forward. Another thing that and I think you guys are aware, if you come to this channel and you listen to me on Mondays, I found a new toy. All you guys know I found a new toy with this AI generated music. And I think I'm evolving with using the tool. I like the fact that no matter what the theme is, you could actually write a song or have a song generated for you that matches the theme of whatever conversation you want to have. And I think that's fun, especially if you like singing as opposed to rap. I'm old. I like singing. I particularly like having women sing to me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Lady Novoa? How you doing? Welcome aboard. How you doing? I particularly like to have women singing to me. So I have a special treat for you guys today. After we talk about all Black Girl Magic, I put a theme in my AI generator. It came out with some lyrics, and I rewrote all the lyrics. I mean, whatever you're going to hear at the end of this live, I actually wrote. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, but that's just me. I think it's pretty good. And so, if you're still around at the end, or you can listen to it on replay, have fun doing that. What's going on, Curtis? How you doing? All right, so we're gonna have some interesting stuff, and of course, I have a lot of clips. I like clips because I'd like to hear people say what I'm thinking. What's going on, Trey? Taylor? I got a lot of trips, and then after I go through a certain amount of this, I'm gonna drop the link so people could come up and then go through some of that. Some of the the clips are really short, but I found out that there's enough content creators out there who have questions about how Black Girl Magic has been co-opted, commercialized, and used by feminists to destroy the Black community. And so, we're gonna, explore some of that today. Okay, so, and I think it should be interesting. So I think it really is going to be interesting on that, how it's been used, and it's really not that far fetched once you start to think about it. Uh, and here's my thing. I've been oh yeah, this is a side thing I wanted to say. If you didn't believe that people that your computers and your cell phones and shit is listening to you and spying on you, every so often you need to get reminded that it is. So before, listen, I was ranting about how people hate baby boomers, right? I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, we're the most hated demographic in the whole entire world, right? And I used to fight against that shit. Okay, I used to fight against it, just like Black women fight against, taking accountability for anything. I fought it. I fought it. I fought against. Hey, man, because that's not my reality. I think I'm the greatest baby boomer that ever lived. And so then I started thinking about it. And so many people have so many reasons why the baby boomer generation sucked. I started to say, you know what? I started to do the same thing a lot of women do it. Not all, but it's true. It's not all baby boomers were effed up, but there was 76 million baby boomers. So it stands to reason that a certain percentage of those baby boomers were really effed up. So I had to start to say to myself, that's not my reality, but enough baby boomers were effed up to make a difference. And that's true. I mean, I can no longer deny that. There's enough baby boomers that F shit up to make a difference. And there's no denying that. So there you go. So women, whenever time you say something bad about one Black woman, they say, not all of us. No, it's not all of you, but there's enough of you to make a difference in the effery that's going on out there. So, okay, so that's my answer to that. From now on, it might not be you, but it's enough of you who are doing shit that's effed up. And so we have to talk about it, Yeah, I know, man, Gen X, but I swear it's like somehow the algorithm got a hold of what I said in my phone. And all of a sudden I started getting all of these damn videos about how effed up baby boomers are. I said, what the hell's going on? I said, well, I know what's going on. We're being spied on. So anyway, let's take this thing from the beginning. When just starting from when Black Girl Magic was coined in 2013. Of course, we said things like Black Girl Have Magic and all that kind of stuff. But there's one particular sister named Kashawn Thompson that is credited for at least coining the phrase Black Girl Magic. And, but she got left out of all the commercialism parts of it. And so she's talking to another sister. She's talking to another sister. Wait, when you got that, Trey, you said something. Let me read this. That's funny. Wait, listen, there's another sister that is a known feminist who's interviewing this sister, and I'm gonna go to an early clip. So let's play that clip and listen to the lady who started the I guess the phrase Black Girl Magic and some of the things she was thinking about back in 2013 and how she feels that where Black women were, and we'll talk a little bit about that. All right. So here we go.
You might not know this, but Kashawn originated the phrase Black girls are magic, which became Black Girl Magic. And if you don't know that, you should. Kashawn has been intentionally erased from this incredible thing that she created. It spawned a movement. It spawned so much self-reflection and community among Black women. And I think that the way that she has been treated over these years has been truly despicable, really, really horrible. So I talked to Kashawn about how she came up with Black Girls Are Magic, how that turned into a movement, how she has not been the person who has primarily profited from this movement, and how, you know, a lot of times it be your own people. A lot of Black women have contributed to her erasure. So here's our conversation. Thank you for taking some time to talk to me. Like,
well, let's go. Okay, so let me also say Harriet. Like Harriet is a tremendous anti-man feminist. I mean, she's like top notch, grade A. I can't stand a man feminist. So anyway, this conversation is still pretty good to just kick all of you guys off. If you never saw Kashawn before, I wanted to just go start there. All right.
Like you said, it's been a minute. We were trying to get it together.
I know, for like 2 years at least.
But I do think that this is like an interesting time to talk about really what you created and the legacy of it. So I guess the first thing that I wanted to kind of get into was the origins of Black Girls Are Magic. What was happening when you decided to tweet that out?
Well, what was happening at the time, and it had to have been like 2013. For some reason, there was like this overwhelming opinion that Black women were like the worst things on the planet. And not that people hadn't had those opinions before, but because of social media, it was becoming amplified. It seemed like every time I logged on, there was like some negative something swirling around Black women. So I think that was the year that guy had written that article for Psychology Today, saying that we were like the most unattractive beings on the planet.
Scientifically, most unattractive.
Scientifically, you know, because science. And so it was that. And I think that might have been around the same year that some study came out saying that we had the most cases of STDs, and Steve Harvey was really getting his rocks off, talking about how we were unmarriageable. And
okay, all right. See, this is where Black women lose me with this victimization. Now, it's true that there's a lot of bad things said about Black women, but it seems like nobody can realize that Black women's incessant obsession and inferiority complex makes them an easy target, almost as bad as the target as a man's need to have sex. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they could be manipulated into anything because all you got to do is coddle them and tell them, I'm your friend, I'm your buddy. And with me, I'll give you all the affirmation you could possibly need, and you don't have to worry about life because you ain't a booger bear. You're the most beautiful thing God ever put in. Matter of fact, you're a queen, sister. You're a queen. It's all in you. You know, and then they'll fall for any goddamn thing after that.
A lot of that was going on. And then I think that I know for a fact the thing that pushed me to tweet it was I logged on to Twitter and somebody said that Serena Williams looked like a man. And she looked like a man, and it was because of her manly extra testosterone, whatever. That was, she was beating everybody. And that's why she was beating everybody out, despite the fact that she's like the greatest living athlete right now. It was because she looked like a man.
It's so funny because I have been tweeting about this and having conversations about this. Social media was not always like it is now. There was a time when it was normal, routine for everybody, even people who we see as woke today, to get in on shitting on Black women, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I try to remind people, like, look, it wasn't always like it is in 2020. There was a time where dudes was getting famous, all for shitting on Black women.
Yes, like that was their thing.
And then they was getting like, then they read a couple books or, got married or had a baby girl or something, and then there they woke.
Yes.
But 7, 8, 10 years ago, they would log on and say,
all right, so we got the point, right? We really got the point about where she's going. I just wanted to introduce you guys to her before her and Harriet go really down this woe was me pole. But she's right. There's been a lot of talk, but it pales in comparison to other things. But it could be played upon that Black women only hear the negative about them. At the same time, in 2013, Black women have been excelling for years by then. And I got something else for a lot of folks. when they say black women are the most educated, I went to college in 1976. Guess what? There were 10% more black women enrolled in the university back then as there were. So it's not this flex bullshit that they're talking about now. It was the same thing back then, except those women were fit and they were a whole lot more feminine. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there and just say, well, you know, I mean, I understand her plight, but you got to understand, being a victim makes you vulnerable to any old bullshit, you know? So listen, and then again, I wanted to say a couple of things after this. You know, the Black Girl Magic had its points about raising some of the awareness or opening the doors so black women could move through. And some of that shit is good. You know, we want all black folks to have opportunities to move forward. But unlike men, right, who achieve, men usually come back and say, okay, how I'm going to start a family, how I'm going to raise my children, how I'm going to give back in terms of being in sacrifice to other people in a family structure. Women have no such inclination as much, right? It's usually, how do I benefit from what's going on? How do I you know, how does it make me feel, right, personally? And people take advantage of that. And, you know, so Hollywood takes advantage of that, right? So we have, and I'm gonna just segue into this thing. There's a new movie out with 5'4", 95-year-old Viola Davis beating the shit out of 300-pound men, right? She's the president of the United States. First, she's a woman king, not queen. Now, and the only thing I think, and I didn't watch this show, and I'm not going to watch it. I'm not even going to name it. So all the women in these shows can beat the shit out of men, and all the men are gay, right? All the black men. If you're not a leading man, if you want to roll in today's movies, you got to be willing to take it in the butt, or wear a dress, or be a criminal, or be a broken husband, a cheater, or be some kind of, other than a man standing on 10 toes down saying, you know, F you. That's why I love the movie, the series From. And it has to be a horror flick, by the way. And the man in that, the leader man, is a man. He had a wife, he has a son, and he's in charge of the town. You know what I'm saying? And he's a man's man. I don't know how they got that shit past the Hollywood people these days, because black men can't be in charge of any goddamn thing. They're sucking the Johnsons or all the women in all the movies. You know, so I'm tired of watching that shit. So I just mentioned the Woman King thing and this new movie she has out to show you that they're trolling us in the worst kind of way, because it's not even cartoonish that she's doing the shit that she's doing in that in that movie. You know, so I'm saying this to you, so I'm trashing it so you won't watch it. How about that? Because I'm not going to watch it either, and I won't even name it, but I think some people know it's out there. So the other thing that I want to get to is about black women in terms of, or women in general. And I've said this before. Women like to invade men's spaces, right? Every space we have that's for men, women invade. I don't think really men don't actually mind as much. When I was younger, we had a Kip Spades Boys Club. Kip Spades Boys Club. It took all the boys from the neighborhood that wanted to join off the street and gave us sports, some structure, all kinds of things. So the women didn't like that. So they forced the government or the city or whatever to turn it into Kip Spades Boys and Girls Club. Now, you know, on the surface, that's not bad, right? We had to take the girls off the street too. But when the girls invaded the space, they didn't give us any more money, right? So now all of the recreation that we have for boys had to be for boys and girls. And then they start to do this convergence where there had to be things where both boys and girls could play together. So they had to give away certain things that were completely male centric and lean towards things that girls could participate in too. Do you know what I'm saying? So boys don't necessarily. So and then again, that's where a lot of guys stop going to the boys' club. So and I can take it to the professional athletes, right? Female reporters fought to get into the locker rooms after a game. Men walking around with their dicks out, dirty, smelly, and the women fought to get in the locker rooms where these guys couldn't even take a shower in peace, right? And so the men said, begrudgingly they did it, right? Because like we always acquiesce to the honeys, right? But in reverse, it's not true. Male reporters can't go into a female locker room while they're dressing, while their titties are out. And plus, most men don't want to smell no funky ass women anyway. But so nobody complains. So the reverse is not true, but women invade our spaces all the time. So when Black Girl Magic came about, here's where I'm gonna make the connection. Women were completely comfortable with Black Girl Magic excluding their sons, excluding their husbands, excluding their fathers, excluding their brothers, their nephews, and anybody else, male centric, because this is just for us. And nobody really looked at the ramifications of what that really meant. You know what I'm saying? And when the money and the commercialism took over, and it became Black women's fourth wave of feminism, it not only talked about making women equal to men, it says we are better than men. We don't need men. We just need to just be women and get our shit together. And that's the downside, the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's like the crowning jewel of feminism when it got co-opted. So it's not just telling Black women, hey, you are just as pretty as everybody else and all this shit. It's saying that you don't need anything but yourselves. You just need other Black women. That's it. That's all you need. Some money from the commercialism and other Black women, and that's all you need. You don't need family. You don't need husbands. You don't need anything but another Black woman. And any woman could come up here and tell me that that's not how it turned out, and that's not how it is. Oh, there's some Black men sycophants who clap at the rallies and "You Go Girl" and all this other horse shit. But the point really is, it kind of came to a head early on when we had the Ice Cube situation, right? It kind of crystallized where women were coming from when Ice Cube had the contract for America, when he had this plan for Blacks that he wanted to get put out there, and how with the so-called sisterhood, and then these women don't speak for all sisters, not all, but enough to make a difference. How they reacted to his plan. So I'm gonna play. It's a short clip. It's an old clip too, but it's a short clip, and I just want to play it for you guys. So this. Yep. What's this? See? Yeah, it could be. It should be. But even like I said, the title of this show is Black Girl Magic: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And so we're going to explore some of all that, because I'm not going to say it's all bad, but when it got co-opted, it's hard to say what's good. But let's play this little clip from this lady who had questions about Black Girl Magic when Ice Cube was presenting his contract. All right.
Hey, welcome back for another video, and today is going to be a little different. I simply have a question. I have a question that I want to ask of you all, but let's get right into it. There is some very interesting conversation going on right now around Ice Cube's Black contract. And as I understand it, it is a list of askings for the Black community, for Black people. He has done several press on the issue, and I will not go into detail on my channel because that's not what this video is about. Ice Cube has talked about the political leaders, vice presidents, presidents, all the politicians who have been in favor of the Black contract and is willing to work with him on the Black contract. And he does say that it has not been him alone. He has worked with a number of experts, including economists and so on. But he was interviewed, Ice Cube was interviewed on Cocktails with the Queens, and this features Claudia Jordan, Selena Johnson, Lisa Ray McCoy, and Vivica A. Fox. They talked about a number of issues. One of the issues that got brought up was that Black women were not included in the contract. And Ice Cube said, it is about Black people. And 3 of the 4 hosts stated that Black women are not necessarily a part of Black people as a whole, in that Black women has their own.
See what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I just like riffed out there and say, how Black women take this shit to the extremes. And that's exactly what they said. That Black women ain't about the Black, not the same as the Black community. We have our own shit. What does that mean? That their own shit doesn't have to do with the community or the bigger collective. That if the collective is satisfied, they're not going to be satisfied with that. What does that mean? And it's
a set of needs and values and accommodations. And Lisa Ray McCoy was the only Black woman who said that Black women are included in Black people as a whole. The other 3 didn't appear to agree.
All these women with their fake hair on their heads. The thing that really is funny is I think I watch O'Shea Duke Jackson every so often. He said he has his own term that the women are weaving and sandaling. So all these women are weaving and sandaling. You know what I'm saying? According to O'Shea. And just look at their faces. Why would anybody want to deal with any of these women on any level other than the smashing?
Question is, what do you think? Are Black women included in Black people as a whole? That's my question. That's why I'm here today. Do you think Black women need a section within the Black contract that specifically targets Black women and their needs and their accommodations and their unique self? What do you think should be included in the Black contract as it relates to women?
All right. So that was her question. I didn't look through her comments from way back when. And that's something everybody could ask themselves. Let's bring that forward, almost 10 years. Do we need something just for Black women? Well, because we already have something just for Black women, and the community is absolutely destroyed because of it. Everything's destroyed. Marriage is destroyed because of it. Love is destroyed because of it. Right? The sexual marketplace is destroyed because of it. Right? With rampant promiscuity, everything is destroyed because women want to be on their own. Against the natural order of things. Because somebody told women that being in the natural order of things makes you less than. That's the stupidest shit in the whole world. That's where the power belongs. That's where the power is. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of snake through this thing. So I have something that I want to show you guys, because I said that, the thing about Black Girl Magic, one of the other problems with it is when we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, with Black Girl Magic, everything equates to each other. Sexy Red is on the same level as Maya Angelou. Megan Thee Stallion is on the same level as Roberta Flack. As long as she's a Black woman, any fucking thing goes. You're as long as you're part of the sisterhood, you could do no wrong. What's going on, Braxton? That's what I'm saying. And that's patently false. So I got a couple of slides here where we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, all in a couple of slides. right? Because I got something to show you guys, and you guys tell me whether I'm on the right track or not. So I'm gonna share it, and we're gonna go through it. It's gonna take, and after this, I'll drop the link for anybody who wants to come up. Right? Okay, so here's the dark side of Black Girl Magic. Okay, and the reason why I call it dark side because it was easy to put it on the page. So let's go ahead and talk about it. All right. So here's some Black women who've achieved some great things. All right, some really good things. That's the good part. Black Girl Magic and the Black feminist movement and the Black whatever has opened up doors where Black women are getting elected to prime positions like of leadership, mayors, governors, well, not governors yet, but soon, probably one running for president. AGs, ADs, they're fucking police chiefs. They're every fucking way of leadership. The problem is that I'm convinced that Black liberal women have no idea how to wield power without getting into becoming egomaniacal maniacs, who can't stop smelling themselves. So let's go down this little list that I have. Now, I can't see you guys because I'm looking at the list, right? Let me go back, right? So Catherine Pugh, mayor of Baltimore, she's doing 3 years in federal prison for fraud at the mayoralty level. Now, what the hell are you doing committing fraud when everybody in that town is looking at you? I remember telling NBA players that whether you like it or not, you're a role model. How come that shit doesn't apply to these women? Right? This woman is in a position of extreme leadership, and all she could do is think about taking advantage of it by ripping the taxpayers off. So she's doing 3 years in a federal prison. She might be out by now. Tiffany Henyard. Need I say more? The super mayor, so drunk with power that she couldn't even get out of her own way. And the money was an issue with her too. Donia Sartor, right? She is the first mayor of this town, I believe, right? Liberal Democrat. She resigned under pressure, pulls a gun out on a police officer, allegedly, or she took it out of her desk and said she just changed it from one end to the other when she was having a contentious conversation with him in her office. Then they also have money problems with the budget. She's under audit. This is recent, you guys. Fannie Willis can't keep her dick in her pants, right? If her boyfriend was her boss, he couldn't work anywhere in the United States because of taking advantage of a woman who's his subordinate. No, but she bangs him out, gives him a job, overpays him, and then goes on these lavish trips with him where he's kicking back some of that money, and then allegedly perjured themselves in front of the judge and the American people. And right, and then let me also add that then she's invited to a Black church, and the goddamn pastor lets her get into the pulpit. This adulterous woman lets her get into a pulpit to spew her bullshit to his congregation. All I'm just trying to say is, what the fuck is going on? Right? Because she's a woman, she could do anything she wants to do? No, let me scratch that. Because she's a Black woman, she could do anything she wants to do? She's not answering to her subpoenas. And the guys, the men, and the people down there are so dog shit afraid of her, they haven't put her ass in handcuffs yet. Defying judges' orders and everything. Marilyn Mosby, right, becomes the top cop. It does some mortgage fraud bullshit, purges herself on a stand. These are women that people look up to. I mean, these are recent. This is not like I'm digging this shit out of the arcade. It took me around 15, 20 minutes to find these women. These are black, liberal, Democrat women that are sitting here telling everybody they should fucking vote on the plantation with the next hyena that we're going to show. Jasmine Crockett, the new leader of the Democratic Party. Ghetto as hell. Took her $500,000 worth of education for her to come online and act like a gutter slug. And she might have some investigations against her for a misuse of campaign funds by her opponent in the next thing. So there's more to come on that. She went to Chicago, and there was a sister, who wants to turn Chicago red. And the sister was talking about, how the illegal immigrants and how all their leadership put all of these illegals into their neighborhoods, sucked all their taxpayers' money dry, sucked them dry, gave all these stipends to people who don't even live here, who don't even, are not from here. And all Jasmine Crockett had to come out and say this, how much she hates Trump. And how much these people, she ignored what the lady said 100%, and just went off on her stupid rant, the script that her puppet masters gave her. These are the black women that you guys have out in front. Natalie Hall, liberal Democrat, found liable for banging out her subordinate, then firing him because he didn't fall in love with her. She had his car tagged and she was following him around. Then she fires him when he wouldn't, he's banging around in all the offices. People know it. And so I think, of course, I think the lawsuit was settled for somewhere under $1 million, back pay and all that shit. And she refused to step down. Nobody said anything about it. She's a black woman, so she don't have to face any consequences. If he was her boss and he was banging her ass out, he wouldn't be able to work anywhere in Georgia. Yeah, she did fire him. That's why he got a job and back pay. It's crazy. Okay. Henrietta Thompson in New York, a judge. She had to resign because she's a racist. And she's a homophobe. Okay. Like, black people actually can't be racist. Some of the most racist people in the world are black. And then they find out that she's not doing her job either. Right? Her docket is full and behind all the time. Right? Christine Patterson, a judge. They fire her from the judgeship for what they call systematic incompetence. What the fuck is that? And then she's on camera fighting a cop drunk one night, titties falling out of the top of her dress, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, come on. You can't make this shit up. These women are in high positions. They're high positions. Patrice Cullors, Black Lives Matter. Tens and tens of millions of dollars gone on the backs of dead black men that she doesn't even like, men, right? On the backs of dead black with no conscience or remorse. Gone. These are the black women that we're supposed to parade around as pillars of the community. Oh, there's more. I'm finished. I got just a little bit more. Okay. And this is just honorable mention. Okay. My honorable mentions. Karen Bass, gallivanting around in Africa while Rome burned, right? Hires a lady for $750 million who doesn't fix the reservoir, knowing that the fire season is coming. And the number one plank of that person that she hired, I forgot her name, was DEI, pussifying the ranks and gayifying the ranks so it could be inclusive. And then in the fire department, right, with 4,500 firemen, and 1% of them are women. That's 100 something. The first commissioner was a lesbian woman, a woman. The second in command was a lesbian woman. And the third in command was a black lesbian woman. So out of 4,500 people, 4,496 men or whatever, 800 men. That's the top 3 people in the fire department were women. That's statistically improbable like an effer, man. You mean all of those men were assholes? None of them could be leaders? They had to find 3 women out of 100 to outrank 4,000 men? What the get the hell out of here. I don't care what kind of criteria you were following. That shit is bullshit. You know? Okay, then Gordon Lightfoot, or Lori Lightfoot, but I call her Gordon Lightfoot. Right? She was a one-term mayor in Chicago. By the end, the police hated her. She did such a bad job. And the only thing that's worse than her is the guy who came behind her. He might as well, you know, that guy is horrible. So these are the people we put in office because of the color of their skin. Keisha Lance Bottoms. You know what? By the time she left, Atlanta was in shambles, kind of. But she says, you know what? I tasted the power, and that shit is bittersweet. And she actually said, I'm not running again. I want to go home to my husband and my kids. And that's exactly what she did. So kudos to her. And then, of course, Kamala Harris. And I don't need to say any more. If that woman would have became president, we might as well just, you know, let America sink under the biggest sinkhole in the world. And these are all liberal Democratic women. All part of, you know, all part of this Black Girl Magic thing. And I just plucked their names out of a hat. They're right there standing on it. All of them with dirt on them. All of them. You know, we need to find some conservative Black women out there, and hopefully they could do better. But these women who are these, you know, liberal Democrats, they stand for nothing. Because everything goes. Everything goes. And in their cities where they're in charge, it's absolute shit going on. Shit. You know, so, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I don't usually come up here and talk about Black women like that. But if somebody has to say it, then I have to, when I started researching this shit, you know what? There's women coming out who are angry at this shit going on. Drunk with power. Women don't know how to wield power. It's just as simple as that. They get the opportunity and they blow it. They blow it big time. And a lot of people get damaged because of that. So that's the first thing. So they don't know how to wield power in politics, and they're definitely upside down in wielding power in marriage, right? Because women actually want men to marry them on their terms. You're right. I mean, let's just strip away all the bullshit. These women these days want men to marry them on their terms. And in any successful marriage, any man who's worth his grain of salt, he doesn't marry no fucking woman on her terms. They're on his terms. My wife married me on my terms. You know, she had to agree to my terms. It's not like my terms were some kind of draconian bullshit, but they had to be on my terms. I'm the one asking. I'm the one dedicating the rest of my life to take care of her and the family. She ain't doing that shit for me like that. You know, and any man out there who marries a woman on her terms and tells me he's happy in that marriage, he's lying or he's blind. He's lying. Matter of fact, he's a lying sack of shit. Because his woman can't respect him. You're sitting down here, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and your wife is crazy. And listen, here's another thing. I want to say this shit really. This shit goes for any marriage, whether you're a fucking bus driver, a plumber, entrepreneur, or a CEO. If you get married on your woman's terms, you're an asshole. If you get married on your woman's terms, you're an asshole. And you deserve every goddamn thing you get. It's just, I mean, you know, and all you women who disagree with that, you could let that shit sink in because I'm not taking it back. Because I tell you what, if you have a man and he's with you on your terms, you already don't respect that motherfucker. You don't. You absolutely don't. You might think you do, but you don't. How could he lead you? You don't trust him. You don't respect him. And that's what the black women want from their men today. Just go and do a cursory review of how they speak on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's just no way. And I'm not, listen, like I said, it doesn't matter whether you're a bus driver, a plumber, entrepreneur, CEO. You cannot marry a woman on her terms, right? Two things. One, you got to make sure as best you can that she chooses you as her number one choice. And two, you can't marry. She's got to meet your terms. Or else, why ask her to marry you? And that shit went for 1987 when I got married. And that shit's still true today in 2025. That's why nobody's marrying these fucking women. They banging them out, but nobody's asking you to marry me. You know, none of these guys want to marry you because it's a losing deal. Oh, I got a PhD. So fucking what? We could wipe our ass with that on a cold night. Anyway. Okay, well, you know what, man? I'm just tripping, man. I'm having a good time. Hold on, let me do this. I'm dropping the link in here. Anybody, wants to come up, I have a couple of videos. So here's the link. For anybody, woman, anybody, come up and tell me that I'm wrong. I see you, Anissa, but you tell me, I hear you. You're marrying this guy, you're with this guy on your terms. Great. Feel great about it. Okay. I ain't going to argue with you. I'm not going to disparage your boyfriend. But anyway, so let's move it right along. I got a clip of a guy, a short one, of a dude, some other people who have issues with the way things are going in terms of this whole Black Girl Magic thing. Now, this guy's a little irate, a little bit, and it's a real short 60-second thing. And it's an old thing from Shay Sade. And I'm going to just play that real quick.
I'm against Black Girl Magic because of this very thing. What does it do? It promotes the success and elevation of Black women at the expense of Black men. So if you watch the movie Hidden Figures, right, you would think that there were no males working in NASA during the time of
Are you talking about like the mathematician or something?
Yeah, the mathematician.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
I was like, you know what? Let me go do some research on NASA. There were plenty of Black men there. But you literally have a whole movie with nothing but black women working with a black mathematician. In
I didn't know that.
literally had to rewrite history
Crazy.
in order to push this black girl magic. And they get all these awards. They get, Taraji P. Henson, she's a great actress. And this is literally going against the black community. So for me, I am against this whole black girl magic, this whole uplifting black women, especially when it's at the expense of black people as a whole.
I
Hey,
got you.
welcome
I
back
hear
for
you.
another video. And
What?
today,
Well, get rid of that. All right. All right. So that was a short clip. And the guy's right. You know, Nissa, I know you never said that. It was a preemptive strike, just in case you feel that way. You know, that was a preemptive strike. Anyway, listen, there's another sister that I listen to because they're all women popping up that are worth listening to. And I like putting these clips out because I don't want to seem like I'm on some island making shit up. You know, so this is another sister that she's new. She's a married woman. And I appreciate what she has to say. And so I'm gonna play it for you. And it's just a talk girl. And she's married and she's young. She's a nice chocolate looking sister. And I listen to her content. I guess it comes across my feed every so often. So we're gonna play her next.
So like since I have left TikTok in the way that I was giving myself to those people, the girls have woke up. Okay. It's like, okay, girl, what you said did not go in vain. It didn't go in vain. It did not go in vain. And the girls are getting it. Okay. They're tired. They're tired of hearing the same mess. They're tired of the fake girls. They're tired, as you should be. Because this echo chamber that they've tried to pretend that they're not on is very much real. They're very much a monolith. But women are the problem in many cases. Women of all race. But we know one thing for sure. In the Black community, it hits 10 times harder. It's 10 times worse to one another. And it's unfortunate, but at some point we got to wake up. We got to wake up. And I'm glad. Let me share this clip because the girls are decentering the girls. Let me drop the clip. We're going to talk about it.
And another motherfucking thing, all y'all want to come in my comments talking about male-centered, decenter men. You know who I'm decentering? You bitches. I'm decentering you bitches that think that all women should think like you. I'm decentering you fake ass girl ass bitches. I am decentering you because you're the problem. For my life and my experiences, you bitches have always been the problem.
Let me preface this and say I'm not laughing about this like it's something funny, but it does make me happy. I'm not going to lie, to know that women are waking up. The girls, right, who love to act like they are all about the girls. They're all about protecting Black women. They're all about this, all about that. And they are sitting on their platforms, sitting in these spaces, dogging women out. How do you say that you are a girl's girl and you're for the girls, but you're calling a woman out of her name, talking about her looks, talking about everything about her family, but you're a girl's girl? Like, how do we do that? How do you do that and then call yourself a girl's girl? As I've always said, a girl's girl is someone who says whatever women want to hear, whatever makes them feel good. That's what makes you a girl's girl. And if you don't do that, if you don't think how they think, you are out of the club. And it's like, okay, I don't want to be in it. I've never put in the application to be a part of the club because being a part of that club will tear you apart. It will have you moving like a robot. You will be a follower. You'll be doing things that you ain't never done before because you're trying to keep up with these girls.
All right, so you get the point there. I mean, that's, isn't that the epitome of Black girl magic? Anything goes. You know, let's not criticize at any cost. Don't criticize. Just go ahead with the flow. And it's been the most damaging thing I think Black women have done to not only themselves, but to their relationships, and to the community and to everything else. Because how can you move forward and leave everybody else behind? Now, men are going to fend for themselves, but this whole notion that you can get through life without men in your life, other than baby popping a baby and you and then disappearing, and then blaming it on him if that kid doesn't come out right because you alienated him from all the formative years, right? The men of today are the sons you made yesterday. The men that you kept away from them because they didn't pay the child support, which is a lie, because most men want to be who are responsible on child support actually do want to see their kids. But so you go and make another baby with another man, and then you're asking the one who is paying to take care of the other one too. So there's just a whole bunch of effery going on in the Black community. And there's just one last clip I have of this sister who is really forceful, and she's directly pointing her finger at Black Girl Magic. And she's fed up, and she's speaking loudly. And I'm somehow a lot of these ladies come across my timeline, and I'm happy that somehow I made it into the algorithm, which is cool. I'm not so happy about the boomer hate ones, but shit. But anyway, man. So here goes the last video from this sister, and we might play it in 2 parts, but I'm gonna let her cook.
These are Ratchetans, particularly the ones who share my ethnic image. They're the ones that are pushing this Black Girl Magic garbage, and that's what exactly it's garbage. It is trash. They are the ones that are destroying the fabric of society and decimating American culture as we know it. These are the ones that are nuking the nuclear family. There's nothing magical about living your life as an unruly, menacing, and thuggish individual. There's nothing magical about recording yourself on social media, acting like a wild beast, hollering in the street, talking about everybody must eat, everybody must eat. There's nothing magical about that. Nothing. There's nothing magical about acting a fool inside a Walmart when confronted for your lawlessness. And then crying racism when your behind is laid out in the middle of the floor, handcuffed, because in a violent rage, you decided to punch a police officer in the face. How is that magical? How is that magical? There's nothing magical about throwing blue-collar men under the bus, claiming about not being able to find a man on your level. He's not on my level. And then being arrogant and dismissive about it. There's nothing magical about telling the world about how you've frozen your eggs and come hell or high water, you are going to have a kid on purpose without the benefit of marriage, because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, but rather something is wrong with all of the men. That's not magic. There's nothing magical about talking about all the love and the resources that you have to give and how you're bidding on sperm and plan to have a child anyway because you think you deserve one.
She's not mentioning names, but Ebony K. Williams falls under this whole thing that she's talking about. She's probably not the only one, but she's the one talking about, go bidding on getting male sperm because it's hard to come by. And any of you guys donating, if you ain't getting $1,000 for it, you're getting taken to the cleaners.
There is nothing magical about that, or being delusional and self-centered, divorcing your husband for no other reason than you just want to start a new chapter in your life, forgetting the fact that you had an honor and a duty and a covenant of marriage vows. A covenant, a forever covenant, and those kids deserved to have a forever family. You guys, my goal tonight wasn't to attack a person, but to address and attack public behavior and their choices. That part, yes, that part was done on purpose. I will not apologize for it. I will do what I do, and I am committed to exposing the wickedness of mud culture and the pathology of the orangutan, because we can't even get to the solution if we are not crystal clear on what the problem is. And I get it. Tonight, I had to expose the villains of this foolishness. And it wasn't pretty. Oh, it was ugly. It was ugly looking at a whole grown woman in a bathtub of dirty water with a beanie on her head. That wasn't pretty. And the reason why I have to do it is because in the weeks ahead, I plan to take all of you on a journey with me. Let me be clear. Orangutans, they're ruled by the God of this world, and they have bought into Satan's lies and have submitted themselves to the lordship of the devil. Okay? Just like Jesus said that the Pharisees, their father was of the devil, their father is the devil, and the deeds of their father, they will undoubtedly do. That's just a fact. That's the word of God. You don't have to like it. You know, we're not going to sanitize this. We must reject the idolatry, the illegitimacy, and the spiritual illiteracy that is plaguing our culture like it's a pandemic. Because you guys, the truth is, we can do better by not listening to feminism.
Yeah, you know what I did say? I'm off mute. I'm an idiot. I was coughing and I forgot to take it off. But anyway, listen. It happens to me at least once. I've seen it happen to Anton Daniel, so I feel like I'm in good company. But anyway, listen, I said that when she was talking about the baby deletions, I was talking about the DNC, when they had buses roll up right outside of the convention, and sisters were going in there, deleting their kids, offering them up to whatever God they pray to. You know, right outside of the convention. This is the people that we wanted to put into office. You know, I'm saying. It's crazy. You know, I'm glad that I woke up about that. No, it's not a lie. They absolutely did have those buses out there. They absolutely did.
We can do better by not mimicking orangutan behavior, both on the left side of the spectrum with the mode culture, and especially on the right side with moving toward the feminazis and the black girl magic and the home wreckers. By rejecting feminism and all of its tenets, you guys, we can start down the path of remoralizing our communities. Right? Not a mere behavior modification, but can you imagine what happens when women hear the message of this is what's wrong, and here is the path to wholeness and healing, and not only here's the path, but I'm going to walk alongside you on that path. Can you imagine if we start all living that out for the world to see how much of an impact that makes just in your small little community, on your job, in your
okay, sis. All right. You know what? That's great. You know what? I'm not gonna hate on you, but it is way too late. It's got to be a whole new community, a whole new set of people, a whole new generation that has to pass. You know, most of them think that the baby boomers have to die off first, but I don't think we own the future anyway. I think that whatever impact the baby boomers have is already baked in. I don't think there's any way that this so-called community could be saved with the present, the current women that we have out here and the current men, you know, that were raised by them. I just think there's going to be a whole new awakening, and there's got to be certain eliminations that got to go on. But it's a good thing. It's a good thought. I'd like to hear more about how you figure on trying to fix it. But I don't think so. if that is possible. And it's not up to me. I'm old. Shit. It's up to you young guys. So if y'all believe it, maybe y'all could achieve it. I think the first thing is that, some people are actually starting to tout that traditional families are a thing of the past. And that's gaining traction. And so until the marriage laws in the United States change and trustworthy females who are educated, by the way, who get divorced the most, actually want to stick by the vows because they're not happy for a couple of minutes. Those kind of things have to change, and this can't be changed. Men are kind of constant in this whole situation. A lot more men want to be married than women, believe it or not. They just can't find the women that they could trust to marry. So I just think, man, think about fixing what's broken is more of a waste of time than trying to find pathways to create something new, right? If you ever work on software, something like that, sometimes they like to modify programs. And then if the modification means you got to change like more than 25, 30, 40% of the code to make it work, you might as well start from scratch, So there you go. So that's the last video of that I have. Anybody who wants to come up and say a few words, that's fine. I didn't plan on this being a long session. The only thing I did say is that, like I said, I'm a kid with a new toy and I use the AI tool to generate music. But I wrote a song called for Black Girl Magic specifically. And I changed the words. Like 95% of it is what I wrote. So before we leave, I'm going to play it. Unless anybody wants to say something, I'm going to play it and we're going to get out of here. What's that? This took a long time to find someone worthwhile. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, listen, I didn't come up here necessarily just to rag on. I wanted to kind of expose the ugly underbelly of what happened to Black Girl Magic. It started out with like a great idea, but it got co-opted just like anything else. And so I'll leave you with this. Listen to the words. I want you to listen to the words and then tell me, and then, whatever y'all can say, put them in the comments on how you feel, because we're going to log out. I'm not going to come back on. I'm going to just say good night. And this is a nice short thing. I'm going to go. I got a brew ready, and I'm going down and kiss the wife, tell her all the good things that she needs to hear. And then we're going to be out of here. Thanks for coming up, Trey and Nissa, Braxton, Kronos, everybody else who came in, even for a second. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And I'll see you next week. I have something else to say, most likely. Lord willing, of course. So here goes.
In the shadows where the light won't shine, feminist stories I told with evil in mind. Black beauties masked by lace fronts and filters. She wears a crown of thorns, yet her community withers. Magic lingers in the dark, unseen. This is the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her sons, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. Her selfish desires echo a queen that dreams of power. With every step, she neglects her need for a king. In the mirror, her reflection cause her mind to wander. Resilient spirits whisper, forget the face of her father. Gather the pieces, reclaim the spark. This is the dark side of black girl magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her sons, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. From the depths she must begin to recognize and reflect that black girl magic without a man is not a lasting flag.
Well, with that, good night. See you next week. Anybody want lyrics, just send me a message.